We're putting ancient human sleep head to head against yours, round by round, covering sleep, timing, sleep structure, sleep quality, and what happens to your body when you get it wrong long term. And stay locked in for round 4, because the data on what chronic modern sleep deprivation is actually doing to your lifespan will genuinely disturb you. This isn't a turn off your phone lecture. This is your biology versus 10,000 years of bad decisions, and one of you is losing badly. What time did cavemen actually go to sleep? The answer isn't what anyone expected, and it completely destroys the idea that early to bed, early to rise, is natural. Researchers studied 3 modern hunter-gatherer tribes, the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, and the Tsimane in Bolivia. Tribes that still live without electricity, without alarm clocks, without any artificial light after dark. The results were published in Current Biology, and they shocked sleep scientists. These groups didn't go to sleep at sunset. They stayed up an average of 3 hours and 20 minutes after dark, socializing, tending fires, winding down slowly. And they didn't wake at sunrise either. They woke on average about an hour after. Total sleep time? Around 6 to 7 hours. Less than most doctors currently recommend. But here's what made their sleep different. Their body temperature was the trigger. They fell asleep as their core temperature dropped in the evening, and woke naturally as it rose again before dawn. Their sleep was locked to a thermal cycle, not a clock. You don't have that. Your thermostat runs at a flat 68 to 72 degrees all night. Your phone pumps blue light into your eyes until midnight, suppressing melatonin production, the hormone that's supposed to signal your brain that darkness has arrived. The average American adult now falls asleep around 11:30 p.m. and wakes at 6:30 a.m., often with an alarm that cuts the sleep cycle mid-phase. You're not waking up, you're being ejected. Round 1 goes to the caveman, not because they slept longer, but because their sleep had a biological on-ramp and off-ramp that yours doesn't. But timing is just the surface. The real difference is what kind of sleep they were getting, and that's where round 2 gets uncomfortable. Your sleep isn't one thing, it's a cycle, and if that cycle gets interrupted, your brain literally starts eating itself. Here's how ancient humans protected it without knowing it existed. Sleep architecture is the pattern of sleep stages your brain cycles through. Light sleep, deep slow-wave sleep, and REM. Each full cycle takes roughly 90 minutes, and you need 4 to 6 of them per night for full cognitive and physical restoration. Ancient humans sleeping on the ground, in small groups, around a fire, likely had fragmented sleep. By modern standards, some researchers suggest they practiced what's called biphasic sleep, meaning 2 distinct sleep blocks with a short wakeful period in between. Medieval European records actually describe this too: a first sleep and a second sleep, with an hour of quiet wakefulness around midnight, used for reflection, prayer, or sex. This may be the default human sleep pattern. The unbroken 8-hour block might be the invention, not the norm. Here's the problem. Alcohol, which 30% of adults use to fall asleep, destroys REM sleep. So does sleeping with a TV on. So does your phone buzzing at 2 a.m. Most adults in the developed world are chronically REM deprived without knowing it, because they're still logging 8 hours and assuming that means quality sleep. REM deprivation is linked to memory failure, emotional dysregulation, and increased risk of anxiety disorders. Your brain consolidates memory and emotional experience during REM. Skip enough of it, and you're not just tired. You're subtly cognitively impaired on a daily basis. Ancient humans win by default. Their sleep was fragmented in a natural, biologically aligned way. Yours is fragmented by alcohol, light, and notifications in a way that skips the most restorative phases. But even if you fix your REM, there's something about the environment ancient humans slept in that modern science is only now beginning to understand. Round 3 is about that. Sleeping on the hard ground, outside, with predators nearby sounds like a nightmare. But some of those conditions may have been doing something for sleep quality that your memory foam, mattress, literally cannot replicate. Ground contact, temperature variation, ambient natural sound. These aren't romantic ideas, they're biological inputs. Studies on grounding, or earthing, direct skin contact with the Earth's surface, show measurable reductions in cortisol levels and improved sleep quality in participants who slept on conductive mats, simulating ground contact. It's fringe science, but it's peer-reviewed fringe science. More established, sleeping in a naturally cooling environment, where temperature drops through the night as it does outdoors, has been shown to significantly improve deep slow-wave sleep compared to a constant temperature room. Ancient humans had that by default. They also slept in groups. Social proximity lowers cortisol. It's not weakness, it's neuroscience. You sleep alone, or with one person, in a sealed room, on a surface that doesn't conduct anything, in air that doesn't move, at a temperature that doesn't change, surrounded by the electromagnetic hum of devices on standby. None of these things are catastrophic individually. Together, they represent a sleep environment that is almost perfectly engineered to produce mediocre rest. And you spent probably $1,000 making it that way. Edge. Ancient humans. Narrowly. You can fix this one cheaply. Drop your room temperature to around 65 degrees Fahrenheit before bed, and see what happens to how you feel in the morning. But fixing your environment doesn't fix the biggest threat to your sleep that ancient humans never had to deal with. Round 4. This is the one. What if I told you that consistently sleeping under 6 hours a night doesn't just make you tired? It measurably shortens your life. And the mechanism is something ancient humans were almost completely protected from. Hunter-gatherers weren't sleeping perfectly. They had parasites, predators, hunger, and cold. But they had one enormous sleep advantage. They had almost zero chronic sleep debt. Each night's sleep was responsive to their body's actual need. There was no Monday morning alarm after a late Sunday. There was no "I'll catch up on the weekend." Sleep pressure, the chemical buildup of adenosine in your brain that makes you feel tired, was cleared every single night. Their sleep system was in constant equilibrium. Yours isn't. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist and author of Why We Sleep, cites studies showing that sleeping 6 hours a night for 2 weeks produces cognitive impairment, equivalent to 24 hours of total sleep deprivation. And crucially, you stop noticing how impaired you are. You adapt to feeling terrible, and call it normal. Chronic short sleep is associated with significantly elevated risk of Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. The WHO has classified night shift work, which forces circadian disruption, as a probable carcinogen. Your sleep isn't just a recovery tool, it's a long-term health system. And modern life runs it into the ground. Round 4. Ancient humans. Decisively. And now we have to talk about something that complicates this entire comparison. Because there's one thing the modern world gave you that may actually balance the scales. But before we crown a winner, there's one reversal you didn't see coming. Ancient humans slept better in almost every measurable way. But they also died, on average, in their 30s. Not because of sleep, but because of everything else. Infection, violence, childbirth, starvation. The sleep was good. The world around the sleep was trying to kill them constantly. Here's the twist. The cognitive impairment from chronic modern sleep deprivation may actually be making it harder for us to solve the other modern crises. Mental health, obesity, addiction, that are also shortening our lives. We didn't trade bad sleep for a longer life. We traded good sleep for convenience, productivity culture, and Netflix, and then wondered why we're exhausted, depressed, and sick. The caveman's life was brutal, but his nights were his own. So who slept better? The caveman, unambiguously. Better timing, better architecture, better environment, and zero chronic sleep debt. He wasn't optimizing for sleep, he just hadn't broken it yet. You, meanwhile, are sleeping in the most technologically advanced bedroom in human history. And waking up exhausted. That's not bad luck. That's a system that was quietly dismantled, by electric light in the 1800s, by alarm clocks in the industrial era, by screens in the last 20 years. And nobody told your biology. The practical takeaway isn't to sleep on the ground. It's this. Your body still runs on that ancient code. Drop your room temperature. Cut artificial light an hour before bed. Stop using alcohol as a sleep aid. Protect your REM like it's an organ, because functionally, it is. The caveman didn't know the science. You do. That makes you the one with no excuse. Here's what I want to know. What time do you actually fall asleep, versus what time you're supposed to? Drop your honest answer in the comments. No judgment. I want to see what modern sleep really looks like for people watching this mirror. And if this video made you rethink how your ancient biology is clashing with modern life, wait until you see what we found when we compared caveman diet versus your diet. That one has a finding about seed oils that's going to make you genuinely angry. It's up next.